Does anyone else in America feel like you're waking up every single day to realizing that your entire life has been a complete scam and a lie?
How is everyone struggling at the same time right now? Like, I'm looking around and it's not just one group of people. It's people with degrees. It's people with jobs. It's people doing everything that they're supposed to be doing and still barely getting by. So it's like, at what point do we stop acting like this is an individual problem and admit that something is just not working anymore?
We pay taxes on the money that we earn. Then we pay taxes on the things that we buy. Plus, we pay taxes on the streets and the roads and the schools and everything else in the world. Then we pay taxes for the things that we own long term, like your car and your house and whatever, property taxes, blah, blah, blah. Please tell me why it is tax season and we owe a couple $1,000s. Please tell me why. So then you get a little side job or two, in my case, two, and you owe more taxes on that. And then and you're not even making much more money. So it's not even like you're in a higher tax bracket. But let's say you made 2,000 little extra dollars that year, and then you owe like half of that in taxes. Please tell me how anybody's supposed to get ahead. You're not. The answer is that you're not. This is ridiculous, and I'm so done with it. I'm a little heated, yes. Because how do we owe a couple $1,000s in taxes? We're broke.
What do you mean I paid a credit card down to zero finally, and I get an email today that my credit score has decreased? What do you mean? What do you mean?
It used to be that if you played by the rules, worked a steady job and paid your taxes, you could build a decent life. But right now, across the country, everyday people are waking up to a harsh reality. The math simply doesn't work anymore. You take on a side hustle just to cover basic bills, and the IRS takes half of it. You pay hundreds a month for health insurance, only to find out paying cash is somehow cheaper. We are watching a system that actively punishes the working class while protecting corporate profits. This isn't just inflation. This is a fundamental breakdown of the social contract.
My husband and I decided we were done with insurance, health insurance, so we just opted out. And our premium was going to go up $500 a month for a family of four. But anyway, we're like, screw this. We'll just pay cash. I just had a mammogram. And what they charge your insurance, I got a letter that was like, oh, your estimated cost is $800. And I'm like, cheaper than what we were paying for our monthly premium. So I'll deal with it. And I get in here and they were like, oh, this is what the cost of a mammogram is, $1,500. But since you're no insurance, we are charging you $95. But since you're paying cash, you are only charged $75. And I'm just like, insurance is a scam. It's a scam. Same thing with my, with insurance, my primary care physician, I would get a bill and I would end up having to pay $175 for every visit that's with insurance. So I'm paying my monthly premium. And then as a cash patient, it's $95. I'm so sick of American healthcare.
So I did a piece yesterday on the crisis of trust in America. Did you know that 50 years ago, over 80% of Americans trusted the federal government? And today, that number's under 20%. Not only is it under 20% for the government, it's under 20% for law enforcement. It's under 20% for our institutions. It's under 20% for our corporations, even our neighbors. Yeah. And that's because we live in a world today where everyone lies with impunity. In this social media space, it's almost like a lot of influencers think that they're in the middle of some political campaign where they're campaigning against other influencers. I don't know what they're trying to win, but they just make, like they're like children. They just make up stuff. I guess for clicks, I don't know. But it really highlights the true character of individuals today. Or I should say the lack thereof. The reason it's not going to stop is because those people are rewarded for it. Yeah, it's crazy. Lying is a profit center. Lying has become a profit center that is more important than dignity, or character or morality.
All right, let me say this clearly. What's happening right now isn't about one video, one scandal, or one state. It's about why people don't trust anything anymore. Because every single time that something gets exposed, and I don't care if it's daycare funding, disaster relief, COVID money, corporate bailouts, or political favors, the reaction is always the same. First, people notice something doesn't add up. The math doesn't math. The story doesn't line up. Then they ask questions. And instead of answers, they get told to calm down. They get told that they're misinformed. They get told that they're being divisive for even asking. That's when truth dies. Not because people are stupid, but because they're being talked to like they are. What pisses people off isn't that fraud exists. What pisses people off is watching billions disappear, watching nobody get held accountable, and then being told that they're the problem for noticing. Because look around. People are working more than ever, paying more than ever, and getting less in return. Healthcare is a joke. Housing is insane. Childcare is unaffordable. Food costs more every single month. But somehow there's always unlimited money for programs that nobody can explain. And when somebody points that out, the conversation immediately shifts away from answers and straight to shame. That's not leadership. That's damage control. And here's the part that nobody really wants to admit. This isn't a political problem anymore. It's a trust problem. When citizens feel like they have to question everything and it gets spun, dismissed, or reframed, they stop believing anything that they're told. Not because they want chaos, but because honesty has disappeared. And until accountability becomes louder than excuses, this anger isn't going anywhere. People aren't radical anymore. They're just awake.
The new American dream is to leave. And I'm not just talking about living abroad and earning American dollars and taking advantage of the exchange rates. I'm just talking about living a life of dignity at this point. I mean, where else in the world is anyone paying this much for healthcare? Where else in the world is anyone eating wheat that they can't digest and is wrecking their gut? Where else in the world do you live to work, not just work to live? Look, moving abroad isn't for everybody. I'm not forcing my ideas on anybody. A lot of people in my comments come at me and they're like, well, just leave, or why do you hate America? I've never once bashed America, okay? I just ask questions and I say, hey, I've been somewhere else in the world where they do it this way. That might be a little bit better than the way we do it here. And if asking questions is wrong, well, I guess I am living in the wrong country. Nowhere is a utopia. Life can be a struggle everywhere. But it's at least worth trying and giving it a shot than just staying in the same place your entire life and never knowing.
In America today, you can't afford a home. You can't find an affordable rental. Wages haven't kept up in 20 years. Utilities are through the roof. Insurance is becoming impossible. And now it's becoming illegal to survive without any of those things. Not illegal to steal, not illegal to harm, not illegal to scam somebody out of their savings, mind you. No, illegal to sleep in the only shelter you still have. Your vehicle, your van, your truck, or your RV. We've entered the next chapter of the affordability crisis, where being poor isn't just difficult, it's becoming criminal. Surviving. Let's be blunt. The system didn't collapse by accident. Housing didn't become unaffordable by coincidence. People didn't suddenly become irresponsible or lazy all at once. And now, cities aren't battling homelessness, they're battling the visible presence of the homeless. They don't want to solve it. They want to hide it. And the easiest way to hide it is to make it illegal to exist without paying someone for permission. If you sleep in the wrong place, crime. If you park too long, crime. If your vehicle looks lived in, crime. If you try to survive outside the system, crime. You're allowed to be broke. You're just not allowed to look broke.
When you look at all these pieces together, the picture is undeniable. It's not a coincidence that healthcare premiums are bankrupting families, while the food supply makes us sick and housing has become a luxury. We have transitioned from a society where people had the means to provide for themselves to a system where you have to rent your basic existence from massive corporations, and when you can't afford it, cities pass laws making it illegal to sleep in your own vehicle. Institutional trust hasn't vanished by accident. It evaporated because the systems designed to support Americans are actively bleeding them dry. If we don't start addressing who is profiting off this permanent squeeze, the middle class won't just shrink, it will disappear completely. Have you experienced this yourself? Paying for insurance only to find out the cash price was actually cheaper, or working harder just to end up further behind? Let me know your story in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.